Well, when you say this team, it's really this franchise. It's not this team. This team's brand new. So we've been able to put this team together. Part of the strategy for me was, going into the auction. Once I got the job, I wanted to make sure that things were different around this team and around this franchise. And, we went with a slightly different passage, I guess, into the auction with just retaining the two younger uncapped players. And we copped a bit of criticism for that at the time. People thought we got that strategy wrong, but I was very clear on the vision that I had for where I wanted this team to go and where I wanted this franchise to go, and we picked the appropriate players to give me the best chance of attaining the vision that I set out with. So far it's been a good season, been a really enjoyable season. The fact that I think last game against MI we had 6 uncapped players in our side, all of which are playing exceptionally good cricket. So we're really proud of where we are right now at the end of the day, and we've spoken about that. But this whole season so far hasn't been about qualification. We've talked a bit about giving ourselves the best chance to finish 1-2, which we've obviously done, and we know now that we've actually finished in first position on the table after the league stage. So some really good things to acknowledge there and talk about and be happy about. But at the end of the day, the hard work, it all starts now. It's sort of like half the season's done, and the important part of the season is yet to come. But I've got a good feeling. This group's been terrific, and not just the 25 players. We've all been in this together. We're all on the same page, heading in the same direction, and so far so good.
Would you say fair to say that you had a point to prove, though you have won the IPL at MI, but DC you did not get to the title? So fair to say that?
Oh, I'm not sure if I had a point to prove. With the good squads that I had in DC, it was pretty evident to see where we made it with good players in that squad. I think we had 3 years in a row where we made the playoffs. One of those was into a final that Mumbai beat us in. I'm not sure we got things right there the last couple of years that I was coach, with our scouting and the way that the auctions went. But I had a bit more control this year. I made it pretty clear that when I accepted the head coach's job that I wanted to have pretty much full autonomy over the way that we go about the coaching staff and the way that we go about putting the strategy together with the auction. Our scouts did a terrific job, even at the auction table, the way that those 2 days panned out. There's so many variables that go into the dynamics of the way an auction works, but we got the players that we wanted, whether they be younger players or more experienced overseas players. We've got everything that we wanted here, and I think that's been shown so far that, with Maxwell and Lockie Ferguson getting ruled out early in the tournament, we've hardly skipped a beat since. The other overseas that we've brought in have done a good job, but our Indian core has been terrific for us, and our captain and leader Shreyas Iyer has been magnificent. So a lot of it revolves around the dynamic that he and I have together, but on field he's been amazing.
And your thoughts on the evolution of the uncapped players, Priyansh, Arya, Shashank, Prab? I mean, they've performed throughout the season, and that's been the big difference.
Yeah, put Wadera in that category as well, and even Harpreet Brar, the last 4 or 5 games that he's sort of been a constant in our side since Chahal's been out. There was a reason that we kept them. We didn't keep them because I didn't think that they could be good players. I mean, the retention thing with Prab was one that I was really keen on. I wanted to make sure that I locked him in as an opening batsman that I thought had as much skill and talent as anybody else in the tournament. I've told him that on a daily basis since the moment that he accepted that retention. It's been me on his back telling him how good he is and making sure that he scores as many runs as he can. So look, he's been great. Shashank, any time that he's had a role to play at the back end of an innings, he's been fantastic as well. Like closing out innings, closing out games has been awesome. Wadera was one that was on the radar for us right from the start when we knew that MI had released him. It was okay. Another Punjabi that we could bring into the squad. That's another part of the strategy that we had. We wanted to have as many Punjab players as we could back in this team, and you think about the lineup that we've got. There's a number of Punjab players there. So Wadera's been outstanding, and more importantly, it's one thing to have highly skilled players, but you've got to have the right people around as well. And I think that's the thing that I can speak most about this year so far with this team is just how well they've all gotten on, and the characters and people that we've had around the team has been absolutely first class. Like we've worked hard, and I've made sure that they've worked hard to get themselves skill-wise in a position that they can be as good as they can be, and now it's just a matter of going out and playing and expressing themselves in the game, which they've done really well.
though you were not part of the team, Ricky, were there any lessons learned with your interactions with the CEO or with the owners of the failures of the earlier seasons and how to not repeat that mistakes?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'd spoken a lot to the management, the senior management, the ownership group, even before I decided to take the job. It was about making sure that I had a really good feel about the people that were here and that I was going to have a really good relationship working with them. That hasn't been an issue for me at all. It's been really smooth. It's been very enjoyable. So there's no complaints there whatsoever. But my big mantra this year was to be different. To make this place feel different, look different from the outside, be really daring with the way that we play our cricket, be really dynamic and not sit back and wait for opportunities to arise to go and create opportunity and create momentum in games for ourselves. And I think, I'm not a big media reader. I don't look at social media a lot. I haven't, looked at a newspaper or many television screens since I've been here. But what I've been hearing and the vibe I've been getting is that what we've been able to create around this team has been pretty cool. It's been nice to be a part of, and people are talking about us, which is what I wanted to do right from the start. So, so many positives so far, but at the end of the day, things can finish really quickly if you're happy with what you've achieved, and things can fall down around you really quickly. So the best teams and the best players that I've ever been involved with have never been satisfied and never been happy with what they've done. They always try and find a way to wake up tomorrow and get bigger and better and stronger, and that's what we're going to do over the next few days.